Today we're here with Vicki Doueck, who is the owner of Generations Counseling and Care Management, and we're going to talk to Vicki for a few minutes about in celebration of the 35th anniversary of ALCA. So Vicki, nice to see you.
Nice to see you, Lee.
So how long have you been a member of ALCA?
So I joined ALCA, actually the National Association of Professional Geriatric Care Managers, in 1989. So it's a long time, and I started my practice in 87.
Okay. Okay, so you're really one of the, there aren't too many members that are still active that are from the 80s. So that's really, I applaud you. So you're really one of the founding members, in fact. So that's really terrific. So what roles have you played in ALCA, formerly NAPGCM, in terms of on the chapter level, or just involved with perhaps the New Jersey community or whatever? Could you speak to that a little bit?
Sure. So, I mean, looking back on it, I mean, I was always very busy in work and private life, and I did not participate in terms of being a member of the board or being that involved in the association, with the exception of going to all the conferences. I did go to most of the conferences, which were very, very valuable to me. So if I look back on it, I would say that I regret that I didn't. I think that would have been something that would have added to me personally and professionally, and hopefully the organization. So I would encourage anybody to become active in it. But going to the conferences has been invaluable to my experience as a care manager.
Well, that's great to hear. That's great to hear. And the conferences, we have one coming up in August. So
yes, I know.
Yeah.
I know.
It will be a little different this year, but that's
yes, a little different. They're wonderful. I don't know what it's going to be like this year, because a big part of it is always networking with people and meeting people all over the country and finding out, different ways of practicing. And so it's going to be a challenge, but I know we're up to meeting it.
Right. I'm sure. So looks forward to seeing you virtually. So, and then I guess the last question is really, what changes have you seen both in the association and in the field of aging life care, AKA geriatric care management?
So there's, of course, been a lot of changes since the late 80s. And just on a personal note, one of the changes is we did not have cell phones when I first started, and we did not use the internet or email. And so we used telephone cards, and we'd stop at all the different telephone booths along the way, because you couldn't answer or make calls unless you were in an office or at home. So your day extended well into the night, because you had to be out on the field all day and then return all the calls in the evening. And if you had to make calls to different, sources of services, you had to stop somewhere during the day and stand there under the umbrella or with your snow boots on or whatever the weather was, making those calls. So there's a huge change. Technology has made it so much easier to do that, particularly in this day and age with COVID. So that's, one of the big changes that personally I've seen. But also the other piece of it is that the addition of so many more people from different professions. When I first started, it was mainly nurses and social workers, which I think it still is, but I think we've added some different types of professionals in the association, and I think that's enriched us. I think it's wonderful. I think everybody has their own way of looking at things, using their own expertise, and I think if there's one thing that I've learned through that is that we do what we do best, and that we can't do everything or be everything for everybody. And so people with different professional backgrounds and understandings can give what they know, and we know when we need to bring somebody else in to add to it. So it's so nice that our organization is enriched by so many different types of professionals who do care management in their own way.
Oh, that's a great perspective. I appreciate your feedback and your input, as well as stories from way back. So cell phones now, right? So okay, Vicki, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts and your
pleasure.
And I look forward to seeing you, as I said before, at the virtual conference coming up in a few weeks.
Thank you, Elise. Thank you so much.
Take care. Be well.
Okay, bye-bye, you
Bye.
too. Bye.